Well, you've got the Thanksgiving menu all figured out. The table is all set. The centerpieces are all arranged. And you've even brushed up on the reason why Thanksgiving is so important this COVID-19 year. But there's likely one thing about the fourth Thursday in November that's still got you stumped. And that's how to incorporate a new Thanksgiving tradition with MOTOVLOG and Crew Crime Stories with SimplySakura. Welcome back, everyone, and today starts a new Thanksgiving tradition that's going to keep you and your family entertained for years. I know if you've already got a few beloved traditions of your own. A football game in the mid-afternoon, making your grandmother's famous pecan pie recipe in the morning, and so on. But there's something special about adding an entirely new, fun, and non-traditional Thanksgiving activity into the mix. I'm talking about SimplySakura's MOTOVLOG and True Crime Stories. Thanksgiving. America's deadliest holiday. Yeah, you heard me right. With Thanksgiving 2020 just passing us, I figured it would be fun and entertaining to cherish memories of Thanksgiving gatherings with loved ones, complemented by honey-glazed turkey and succulent desserts. A heartwarming tradition believed to have originated in 1621 by the Pilgrims, now celebrated every fourth Thursday of November, since Abraham Lincoln proclaimed Thanksgiving Day a national holiday in 1863. But life is not always a Rockwell painting, and the remembrances we cherish are often more glazed than the turkey that rests as the centerpiece on our holiday table. In fact, 68% of individuals expect trouble during their Thanksgiving gathering. We gotta love our crazy families. Reuniting with folks we rarely see, often for many good reasons, can evoke more dread than delight. Stresses are elevated during this time of the year with deadlines, strained finances, long distance travel by planes, trains, and automobiles. Then we arrived at a cramped, stuffy dwelling only to discover crying babies, coughing and complaining old people, rambunctious children, odd strangers, and a renewed sibling rivalry infused with a heavy dose of alcohol and the dreaded political conversations. Worse, what family doesn't have at least one seriously troubled member that we all hope never arrive? Take one Thanksgiving gathering on Saturday, November 26, 2016, in Knoxville, Tennessee. A 28-year-old Joel Michael Guy Jr., pictured here, looks crazy, doesn't he? Murdered and dismembered his parents, 61-year-old Joel Guy Sr. and 55-year-old Lisa Guy. Joel stabbed his father Joel Sr. at least 42 times, and his mother Lisa at least 31 times. He was convicted of both murders in October of 2020, and he received life in prison. Both parents were soon to retire and to stop providing money to their son, and he was to get a $500,000 life insurance policy if both parents were dead or missing. Go figure. The murder involved an elaborate plot to stab both parents, dismember them, and dissolving their remains, cleaning and burning the house, as well as framing his father for the crime. Joel Jr. was injured during the stabbing and left the partially dissolved remains in the house as he left to go and get his dressing for his wounds. Before he returned, police discovered the scene upon the performing of a welfare check when Guy's mother failed to show up for work on Monday, the 28th of November. The police discovered a bloody scene and a notebook detailing the plot in the backpack, along with both parents' torsos and dismembered limbs dissolved in plastic bins in an acid-based solution full of corrosive chemicals, which described by prosecutors as a diabolical stew of human remains, as well as the father's severed 2 hands on the floor and the mother's head still cooking in a pot on the stove. At Joel Jr.'s trial, a handwritten journal found in his backpack. It contained detailed notes outlining his intent to murder and destroy the remains of his parents. One page from his journal included the following: get carving knives to make small pieces. Get a sledgehammer. It crushes bones. Bring a blender and a food grinder. Helps to grind the meat. Make sure to get some bleach because it denatures the proteins. And then get a plastic bin for the denaturalization process. Doesn't matter where they're killed. Just get rid of the bloody spots to prevent evidence at time of death. Not the mattress or the couches, though. Get rid of the bodies inside the house. And my DNA is already there anyway. Flush chunks down toilet. Don't use the garbage disposal. Get plastic sheeting for disposal process. He's not alive to claim her half of the insurance, so the money equals all mine, $500,000. Flood the house. Covers up forensic evidence. Turn the heater up as high as it goes because it helps speed the decomposition of the bodies. Douse the area with bleach. Get a big sprayer, lye, maybe a trash compactor. In the end, Joel Guy Jr. was convicted of life in prison. There was no way of pleading not guilty because his lovely notebook had everything laid out of what he did to his parents. Another crazed Thanksgiving family gathering took place this past Thanksgiving Thursday. A Chicago man was charged with murder after a post-Thanksgiving dinner brawl turned deadly when the party's host boyfriend was killed. He was confronting a guest who dug his leftovers with his bare, unwashed hands. James Dixon, 39, pictured here, was charged with killing Vincent Jackson, 52, who was the boyfriend of the Thanksgiving party host. You see, Jackson was trying to escort Dixon out of the house because Dixon had put his dirty hands into the Thanksgiving leftovers early Friday morning. The fight moved to the porch, where Jackson was stabbed at least 9 times. Dixon, of course, fled, but was later caught with a blood-covered knife. According to the police report, a heated argument began when Dixon started digging into the leftover food with his bare, unwashed hands. Dixon apparently downed several alcoholic beverages, go figure, prior to sucker punching the 52-year-old Jackson. The fight moved to the home's front porch before the stabbing took place. Jackson, 52, was later pronounced dead at the hospital for multiple stab wounds, and his death was ruled a homicide. Dixon was taken into custody about 8 hours later at the hospital, where he went in to get, treated for his cuts to his neck and his finger. Dixon was charged with first-degree murder. Jackson suffered 9 stab wounds, including several to his head, face, and left arm. Dixon was a Walmart stock worker with 3 prior felony convictions, including arson, and he was held on a $350,000 bail. Question is, does Walmart not do background checks anymore? I guess not. Dixon asked the judge how much the case carried before he was escorted away. The judge simply replied with, first-degree murder carries 20 to, 60 years? See you in court next Thursday. So there you go. 2 lives ruined over some Thanksgiving leftovers. You got to love family traditions. Though the St. Valentine's Day Massacre may hold the choicest name for the holiday clash, Thanksgiving no doubt holds the top spot for death. Last year alone, almost 600 individuals were shot over Thanksgiving, and that doesn't include the countless stabbings and beatings, many of which go unreported. What would be your Thanksgiving murder weapon of choice be? If it was me, I don't think I'd use a murder weapon. I think I'd poison the food. Everyone loves pumpkin pie and chocolate pie. I think that's what I would use. How about you? Let me know down below in the comments. Anyway, this concludes the new Thanksgiving tradition, motovlog, and true crime stories with Simply Sakura. I do hope you found these stories interesting. There are plenty more motovlog and true crime stories coming very soon. Thanks so much for hanging out with me again today. And like always, if you have any comments, I highly encourage that you leave them down below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.